Hello, hello. I'm super glad to be back at SaaStock. They invited me to speak again, which means I wasn't that terrible last time. So we have 20 minutes and a lot to cover, so there would be no long introductions. 2015, this is when I joined the company. We were doing less than 10 million in annual recurring revenue, and this is how our office looked like back in the days. I thought it would be fun to show before and after picture. Actually, this is half of our office. So, team in 2015, the only marketer in a team of 15, no previous experience being chief marketing officer, no formal marketing or business education, no experience marketing a SaaS, no network, no credibility, poor English, all signs of future success, right? Nevertheless, fast forward to 2023, and Ahrefs is doing over 100 million in annual recurring revenue, and the half of our office in Singapore looks like this. So basically, that's a quick backstory of when I joined and where we are today. And the interesting thing is that when we were growing our marketing playbook, we avoided doing a lot of conventional stuff. So when I tweeted this, that we didn't look into Google Analytics, we don't even have it installed as of today. We don't do conversion tracking, we don't do retargeting, A/B testing, we don't do discounts, and we don't bid on our competitor keywords. So when I tweeted this, it was quite a controversial tweet. Some people said it's just like survivorship bias, and yet we were able to grow without doing those things. So if we didn't do those things, what did we do to grow to 50 million? Yeah, we're now over 100, but basically growing from 50 to 100, you're just scaling what works for you. So let's see what we did to grow from 10 to 50. It started from me joining the company, and I basically came to our founder and CEO, Dmitry, and said, okay, I'm now in charge of marketing. What is my KPI? He said, your KPI is the growth of annual recurring revenue. And I was like, but kind of the whole company is responsible for that, like the product, the sales, the support team, not just marketers. So the thing is, I think it was like super smart on the part of our founder to not set a marketing specific KPI because it would keep me in the box. Whatever number you give to marketer, they try to game it, they try to put all their efforts there, and they neglect basically everything else. But if you focus your marketing department just on growing the annual recurring revenue, growing the number of customers, and just growing the company, they start thinking holistically, and they start looking into different areas of the company which they can improve to help the company grow. Because marketing is not just like a narrow amount of tactics and strategies you can do. Like one could argue that everything is marketing. So we're getting more and more specific towards the tactics and strategies that we're using. And the first one that I want to share is word of mouth. It sounds very conventional, but let's see. As I was preparing for this talk, I was also reading Elon Musk's biography, and there was a cool quote that I immediately stolen for my presentation. He said to one of his partners, don't worry about sales tactics, awesome products, grow with word of mouth. So I think the keyword here is awesome products, because people who say that word of mouth doesn't work, they just have a shitty product probably. So what can you do to accelerate your word of mouth and to build an awesome product, a better product? Listen to your customers, but it's such a bit an advice. You've heard it before. So I have a few specific things that I did or we did to better align with the market and to better understand our customers. So one of the first things I did when I joined the company is that I went on subreddit about search engine optimization, about SEO, and they posted, I'm Team Soulo from Ahrefs, I'm looking for some feedback, and people basically pounced on the opportunity to tell us what they like, what they don't like, mostly don't like. I didn't handle this thread well, but it provided a lot of insight on what the market was looking for, what they thought about our software. It was a great learning experience for me because I just joined the company, and I didn't understand the industry well. So it became my biannual tradition every 2 years, I would go to the same subreddit, and I would post exactly the same message, and I would get hundreds of comments of people from the industry. And right now, it's like, I don't know, a Super Bowl event in our company, because whenever I post this thread, everyone in the company is looking what people are talking about us, and this leads to a lot of business decisions. We make changes in our company based on what the industry is telling us to do. Of course, not everything. We kind of think of what makes and doesn't make sense, but still it is a very useful exercise for us, and we continue doing it every 2 years. Another useful thing is we collate feature requests from our customers. So there's a pretty handy piece of software called Kenny.io. It helps you organize feedback from your customers and help you understand what you should be building next. Another thing, again, I'm talking about specific things that help us better understand customers, is we have feedback channel on Slack where anyone, any employee of the company can post some interaction with the client. It can happen on Twitter, it can happen over email, in support chat, direct messages, doesn't matter. Whenever someone is saying something about our company, product, services, whatever, it can be posted on the feedback channel, and it generates discussion with whoever can influence whatever this person is sharing. And finally, we have this somewhat unconventional rule in our marketing department. I shared it on LinkedIn, and it got 1 million impressions. I think this is my most popular post on LinkedIn, where I said that every new marketing hire at Ahrefs has to spend the first 2 months working in customer support before they get their first marketing assignment. We actually brought that down to 1 month, but still I think it is super important for marketing people to talk to customers and to understand what's going on. So we keep this rule. All in all, even though I was in charge of marketing, large chunk of my work was and still is building a bridge between our customers and our product team, so that our product team had a better idea of what kind of product we can build to sell it to the market. So that was word of mouth. Next thing that we focused on, packaging and positioning. So this is how the homepage of ahrefs.com looked in 2015. And I won't go into details because I don't have much time to analyze like how we pitch ourselves, what kind of social proof we have, and all that. But I think it's a very cool exercise. So whatever industry you're in, you can take the top players in the industry. You can go to a website called archive.org, and you can go back in time, and you can see how their homepage was evolving over time. So this was before I joined the company. After I joined, we hired some agency. They redesigned and changed our copy, but I still didn't like it. So basically, a few months later, I took it in my own hands, and we redesigned our homepage again. Then a few months later, we hired a cool designer, and we changed how our homepage looks. And with this kind of positioning and with this kind of design, with small tweaks, we were living like for 5 years. So it's still, as you can see, it was evolving little by little, but there was no massive change. But something interesting happened in 2020. I actually have a video on YouTube about this, because when we understood that this homepage, this positioning, this design no longer represents how far the company has come in 5 years, I decided to turn this into an experiment, and we hired 3 different copywriting agencies to work independently to create a new homepage for our company. I was upfront with them. I told them that I'm hiring the 3 of you. You have to work independently. I cannot promise that I would use your version of the homepage. But what I've learned is that every copywriting agency created their own version of our homepage that was super different from what other agencies did. And eventually, we took the best ideas from all 3 versions and kind of Frankensteined them together into a homepage which looked like this. But even then, after spending $30K to rework our homepage, after a few months, we still weren't happy, and we continued improving it. So that was a long story, but where was I going with all that information? First of all, you should keep iterating your packaging and positioning all the time. It is never finished, because whenever you build new features, whenever you evolve your product offering, wherever your competitors are doing something, whenever something changes in the market, whenever you have resources, new copywriters, new designers, you should use that to upgrade your packaging and positioning. The next thing, there's no single right way to do it. Like I said, we hired 3 different copywriting agencies, paid 10 grand to each of them. They all produce different results. So in the end, we as the owners of the business, we were deciding what we should do. And finally, yeah, no one understands your business better than you, so you don't necessarily need to listen to any marketing professional or any copywriter of what you should and shouldn't do in terms of your packaging and positioning. Next thing that helped us grow, YouTube. Basically, year 2015, I just joined the company. I take my iPhone and I start recording videos of myself. I still have English that's not very good, but 8 years ago it was absolutely terrible, and yet I was recording videos about SEO, I was integrating our product in them, and some of those videos were generating tens and sometimes hundreds of thousands of views. But the thing is, we didn't measure like what are those videos doing for our business. I just kind of intrinsically thought that it makes sense to do it. People are watching it. People are leaving comments. So I just kept doing this. Later, I found a great guy, Sam O. If you are interested in SEO and try to search for SEO-related topics on YouTube, probably you saw his face. Raise your hand if you've seen our YouTube channel. Oh, quite a few people. So yeah, as of today, we have 500,000 subscribers in the niche of SEO. We're not Mr. Beast, so it's quite a narrow niche. And some of our videos have more than 2 million views. But the thing is, we have no idea how many customers or how much revenue the channel brought to us exactly. All we know, like the way that we know it works, is by self-attribution. Because when people register accounts at Ahrefs, we ask them, how did you learn about us? And all the replies are getting funneled into a channel on Slack, and we see that there are a lot of messages mentioning the word YouTube, mentioning like any specific videos, or mentioning our YouTube host. And that's just the registrations. So, but how do you measure if your YouTube channel or if your video content is improving your retention, reactivation, revenue expansion? Like the common sense, the logic tells you that it works, but it's impossible to measure this. So basically, the lesson to take away is that just because you cannot measure the ROI of it, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. SEO. Who would have thought that an SEO tool would be using SEO to get customers? So this is how our search traffic looks in the past 8 years. Basically, I joined the company in 2015. We were doing 32K per month in terms of visits from Google, and right now we're almost at 3 million, so quite a long road. You can also see that the first year was almost flat, and people always say that SEO takes time, but in our case, I don't think that we struggled with SEO in the first year because it takes time, but because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm sure that an established company can get results from their SEO much faster than we did. So again, I won't teach you SEO right now. I just have 6 minutes left. I'm not even sure I can finish this presentation. But in a nutshell, it's just like 3 simple things. Study what people search for in Google, create content about those things, and get links from other websites. But I do need to give you some actionable advice about SEO and how to use it to grow your company. And the first tip is go after the keywords or search queries that have high business potential. What is business potential? It's kind of a score that we developed internally in our marketing department that we use for making decisions which keywords do we want to create content around. Basically, a business score of 3 means that our product is an irreplaceable solution for the problem. Example, how to see competitors' backlinks. This is not something you can do without a tool like Ahrefs, so it's an easy sell for us. It is very easy to pitch and sell our product if you're writing an article about that. Business potential score number 2. Our product helps quite a bit, but it isn't essential to solving the problem. Again, example of such a keyword is SEO tips, because in an article with SEO tips, we can list a lot of them, but some of them would require using our product, some of them wouldn't. Business potential of 1. Our product can only be mentioned kind of in passing. So marketing ideas. marketing is a broad topic, and some of the marketing ideas that we can talk about in our article, we can squeeze a mention of Ahrefs, but our ability to sell our product while talking about this topic would be hard. And finally, business potential score of 0. There's absolutely no way to mention your product in this article, and for us it would be something like how to make a GIF image, because this is not something our product does. So even if we can make a lot of traffic by writing an article about this, it doesn't mean that it would result in any sales. So essentially, by picking the topics with high business potential of 2 or 3, what we're doing is we're making every article on our blog a sales page for our product. Because if you go to Ahrefs blog and you try opening random articles, you see a lot of screenshots and use cases of our product. Essentially, every article is a sales page. But your blog isn't the only way to get search traffic. So we have a cool report in Ahrefs called Site Structure. And here you can see that our blog accounts for like 25% of total search traffic to our website. But we also have free online tools: backlink checker, keyword rank checker, keyword generator. And those, 5 tools alone, they bring us as much traffic as our entire blog with hundreds of articles. And as I was working on the presentation, someone tweeted, Ahrefs is one of the highest ranking sites in the world. They're secret free tools. And they even provided kind of a step-by-step checklist of how to do this. Find your top 5 features, split them. Well, essentially, you can read. But one thing that this person is missing out is to check if there's any surge demand for a given tool. Because, yeah, you can create a free tool, but no one would use it because people won't be finding it in Google, because no one is looking for it in Google in the first place. So for us, the example of a backlink checker tool, we can see that the volume in the United States, the number of times that backlink checker is being searched in the United States, is almost 7,000 per month. And the times that this keyword is being searched around the world, global volume, is over 100,000. So this is a super popular request kind of for a tool. This is why it made sense for us to build it. Okay, free access and paid trial. This is interesting. Again, this is how our homepage looked like when I just joined the company. And there was kind of an easy way to start using the tool without registration, without entering your credit card, blah, blah, blah. We changed that to free 14-day trial. So people could get full access to our platform for 2 weeks. I think we required credit card, but we didn't charge it. So what happened next? I'm sure you know. People started abusing our free trial like hell. So we decided to change it a little bit. Yeah, basically what we noticed that at a certain point in time, out of all the active users of our platform, 2/3 of them were using, or rather abusing, our free trial. So we decided to charge for this. And I think we were the only ones in the industry. I didn't see any cases like that. We started charging $7 for a $7 trial of our tool. That helped to curb the abuse a little bit, but not much. So as of today, we don't have any paid or free trial, but we have a very limited version of our tool that we branded as Ahrefs Webmaster Tools. So yeah, we've come a long way with how we were giving people access to our tool. And the abuse was actually helping us. There's something called Paulo Coelho effect. And this was discussed back in the day, because right now we have mobile phones. And he's essentially saying that when people pirate my books, they have to read it on the screens of their computers, and this is inconvenient, so they would rather buy their book. But essentially, by pirating his works, people were getting exposed to them. This is not quite how it works today, but still, because people were getting easy access to our entire platform, it was driving adoption, it was driving word of mouth, so essentially it helped us to grow a lot. And yeah, this is an interesting topic, like should you have a trial, should you have a freemium? And I recorded an entire video with our journey and with our thoughts on that matter. So if you're interested, you can easily look it up on YouTube. And finally, those things are kind of the major things that we did, but of course there was more stuff that we did to grow to 50 million. Things like educational courses, community, advertising, influencer marketing, yada, yada, yada. But one final important thing that I want you to take away is that product development fuels all the strategies that I just discussed. Because think about it, if you release a very useful feature that helps your customers solve their problem and be successful, they start talking about this to their peers. It helps you repackage your product and position it better. It helps you create new content on YouTube, because if your product is solving more problems, you can create more videos about these problems. It helps you with SEO in exactly the same way. If you release features that solve new problems, you can write new articles and rank for new keywords. And with free access, people will go back to use your tool if they hear about the new features. So product development and giving the market what they want, solving people's problems, is super important. And that's it from me. I only had 20 minutes to pack a lot of stuff. So if you want to talk about marketing of a SaaS, feel free to come up to me, ask questions. I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you.